hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean, yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing, yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times.
Welcome to Crafty Beach. This is Julie, and today I have 8 Christmas gnome DIYs for you using supplies from the Dollar Tree. So the first one we're going to do is a gnome pot. I thought this sounded like a really fun idea, so I got a little metal pot from the Dollar Tree, a tall one, and I got a gnome stocking from the Dollar Tree and a little Dollar Tree tinsel tree and some Dollar Tree garland. We're going to put all these together and make a really cute gnome flower pot. So the first thing I want to do is just take the little nose and the beard off of the little gnome stocking. They have these every year at Dollar Tree. I love buying these to use for gnomes. I use them year round for gnomes. They work great because you can just peel it off like that. Now, I do want to caution you to avoid using heat when you peel them off the stockings because the beard and the stocking will melt if you use your heat gun. So I'm just going to hot glue it. Mine has the twine up here at the top. It doesn't really get in my way. It kind of gives me something to glue to. So I went ahead and glued it down a little bit because this pot is nice and tall, so this entire beard is going to fit. I also kind of tacked down the sides with a little bit of hot glue too. But I left a little bit of space above the beard. Now, this is going to be the gnome hat. It's also going to be a Christmas tree. And so it doesn't matter which one you get. I just picked up a tinsel tree from Dollar Tree. I love just taking these apart and making them my own. So you get this great cage underneath. And so I'm going to clean up all that tinsel mess. My best tip is to get one of those lint rollers from the Dollar Tree to clean those up because my gosh, they're so messy. And it was almost a perfect fit, but there were like little tabs sticking out on the side of my plastic cage. So I just went in with some heavy duty scissors and kind of trimmed those down. And it's going to fit in there. It's going to be snug, but I think it's going to fit in there perfectly for my gnome hat. Now, to make it not so tippy, I'm just going to put some Dollar Tree stones in the bottom just to weigh it down, and then we can put it in there. It's not going to stay by itself because it's like such a perfect fit. So I'm going to go in with some hot glue all the way around and just kind of glue it in place and let that hot glue set up. Now, if you had a real Christmas tree or any other kind of Christmas tree that has like the cone shape of this, it would work great for a gnome hat as well. So I just glue that in kind of flush with the top of my flower pot. And we're going to use that Dollar Tree garland to build a Christmas tree. So this is just from the Dollar Tree. I have one package. One package was almost enough. I did use part of another package that I had left over. And I just start at the top. It is a wired garland, so super easy. I just kind of pinched it to the very tip of the Christmas tree like this, and let me lay it down so you can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. It's hard to see from the top when I have things standing up. And I just simply wind it around. I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can. I don't want you to see any of the plastic cage, but all the little bumps and grooves on the little cage is great for keeping this in place. And I just want to build a little Christmas tree. So it's going to look like there's a little Christmas tree growing out of a pot, and the pot is a gnome, so it's going to look like a gnome plant. Really fun idea. Once I got the tree completely covered, I'm also going to go over the rope part here to do like the brim of the hat for the gnome. So I attach it with a little hot glue to kind of keep it in place here and there. And I kind of wanted to go around twice, and I really only had enough to go around once. And so I do go back and add another one later, but right now I kind of wanted my ends to be in the back. So I just went ahead and hot glued that down and cut off the little piece that was left over. And that part of the gnome is done. All you can kind of fluff it out a little bit, kind of make it look a little bit better. But it definitely gives you like that Christmas tree shape, and it's really easy. Now, since we're doing a Christmas tree and I'm doing traditional theme on this one, I thought Christmas lights would be perfect. So these are the little LED mini lights from Dollar Tree. I just picked up the white light. You could do whatever color you wanted. Couple of AA batteries in there, and this one's going to be ready to go. I was really hoping that this one package would be enough for the tree, and the tree is pretty small, so one package was plenty. So I'm just going to go ahead and string these lights. I'm going to start at the very top. I'm going to turn mine on when I string them so I kind of know, what I'm going to get at the end. And I kind of string it in from the middle there, and then we can wrap it around. So let me try that again. String it in from the middle, and then I'm just going to simply wrap them around. I want to try to keep like the light box in the back, and we're going to kind of hide it inside the little Christmas tree where it's still accessible. So I just kind of tuck it in a gap between the cage and the garland. But I don't want it to fall in and then not be accessible to be able to turn on and off or to change the batteries. So I just used a little tiny Dollar Tree zip tie and zip tied that to the cage itself. So the little battery pack won't go anywhere, but it did a great job of hiding all tucked away inside of our Christmas tree. And I'm so glad I decided to add lights to this one. I think it made it turn out so cute. Now, I wanted to decorate it like a Christmas tree, but again, I really wanted that second row of greenery to go around, and I did have a scrap piece of this, so I just wrap around one more row and kind of wire it to itself and can kind of tuck in the ends back here in the back. And I like that better. It kind of finished it up more. And then we can decorate the tree. These are the little mini Christmas ornaments from the Dollar Tree. I picked up the shiny red. Thought they were very classic Christmas. I also picked up some Christmas ornament hangers at Dollar Tree, and we're just going to simply hang them on. The little mini ornaments do come with like gold ribbon in there, but I thought it would be easier just to use like real little ornament hangers. And it made me smile trying to find my ornament hangers because I knew I bought some and then I couldn't find them. And it reminded me of my mother. When I was little, she would always buy Christmas ornament hangers, and then she'd never be able to find them when we went to decorate the tree. And it was always so funny. Such a thing she always did, and it really brought a smile to my face and gave me a nice Christmas memory of when she was with us. So I'm just going to go ahead and decorate the entire Christmas tree all over, just scattering out my little red ornaments. They hang on there really well. You can just hang them on your garland or on the cage, wherever you can kind of fit them in. And I want to decorate the front, the sides, and the back, just to kind of make it look like a little Christmas tree. I'm not going to do a tree topper because I want to keep that gnome shape. I don't want to take away from that. And this is how it turned out. Our little Christmas tree gnome in a pot. So totally looks like a Christmas tree, and then you get down here to the pot and you have an adorable little gnome. And again, those stockings work great for that. I love using those for gnome DIYs. I thought about giving him feet, but I kind of liked it just as a pot, so I left it as is. Now we're going to do a coastal version. I know a lot of you guys do coastal Christmas just like I do, so I thought it'd be fun to do a coastal version. So I picked up a bottlebrush tree. I actually got this on clearance last year at Target. It's a perfect mint green color. And then I got a mint green metal pot from the Dollar Tree and another stocking. So we're going to do the same thing pretty much with a pot. This one's just a metal pot. It doesn't have any string on it or anything like that, but of course that's not necessary. So again, I'm just carefully, I'm kind of pulling this off. The only part I really have to cut is like the nose. And you can kind of trim it up and save that pom-pom. You could always replace that with a wood bead too if you kind of like that look better, but I'm fine with like the little plush nose on these. And this is the pot we're going to decorate. Now this pot is not quite as tall as the other one, so we will have to trim the beard down a little bit. I try to cover like the hole and the seam in the pot with my beard so that the rest of the pot's going to look really nice. And I just hot glue that down to the very top, trying to fit as much as I can get on there. And then I was kind of seeing if I could maybe just leave it the length that it was, but I am going to have to trim it up a little bit. So I just go ahead and glue down both sides just to kind of tack it down. And then I just went in and kind of trimmed it up, kind of cut a new point back here. It's okay for it to be a tiny bit longer, but it was just a little bit too long for this pot. And I just try to shape it up, make it look a little bit more natural there on the sides. Super cute. And then for a coastal version, instead of like having greenery go around the top, or the bottom of the hat, I decided to use Dollar Tree rope. I thought that would be very coastal. So I'm using the thicker white rope. And I'm going to start here. I'm going to do 2 rows of this. Even though it's thicker, I think I need 2 rows to do like the brim of the gnome hat. Or one of you guys told me if they don't show their eyes, they're called gonks. Have you guys ever heard of that? Gonks. Really cute. I love decorating with gnomes or gonks. They're so fun, and they're so fun to make. So I just hot glued mine all the way around, and then continuing that same rope, I'm going to hot glue that all the way around too, kind of pushing down my nose a little bit to make it all fit. And then we'll just have the ends of the ropes be back here in the very back of the pot where you won't see them. And I just attached that with hot glue to the pot. And that's pretty much it for the pot part. Super cute, and how coastal are these colors? I love them. And the rope definitely gives it a little coastal. And again, I'm just going to use some Dollar Tree black rocks just to weigh it down so it's not like top heavy or anything. And then we're going to use some Dollar Tree foam just to kind of fill it up and give me a flat surface for my tree. Now for the bottle brush tree, I wasn't sure how to decorate it, and then I was like, oh, coastal, we should just do seashells. So I'm using the little bottled seashells from the Dollar Tree. I'm using the white and brown ones. The ones are like spiral shape. I thought these would really, really pretty, and I kind of wanted to just stick to like one kind of seashell, but you know, you could use whatever's in your stash. And I'm just putting a dot of hot glue on the back of the shell and kind of sitting it in there, gluing it to the bottle brush. And I'm just trying to kind of scatter them all over so there's kind of even coverage. But again, they're all different like kind of shapes and sizes, but I kind of like that look. And again, we're not going to do a tree topper on this tree because I want to keep the shape of the gnome tree or the gnome hat. And so this kind of gave me a flat surface to put the little base of my tree on there. And it fits perfectly right inside. I'm just going to try to see which way I like it the best and kind of just tack it down with a little bit of hot glue to that foam so it will stay in place. And this little gnome pot DIY was so easy to do. I love how it turned out, and it's very coastal. So let me give you a peek. It's kind of hard to show you. And I think he's so cute. So this is the coastal version. We did a traditional version, and this is the coastal version. I did consider adding lights to this, but I wasn't sure where I would hide the light battery pack. I guess you could do it on the very back of your pot, but I really didn't want anything sticking out from the pot in case you can see it from the sides or anything like that. But there it is, our little coastal gnome tree. Very fun for Christmas. Hey guys, I wanted to let you know that I've introduced memberships here on my channel. For $4.99 a month, you're going to get early ad-free access to my videos, and it's a quick, easy way for you to support me here on YouTube. All you have to do is hit the join button on my YouTube page, or underneath this video, I guess. Now for the next DIY, I picked up 4 packages of the little 4-packs of gnome ornaments, and then I picked up 2 of the wood bead garlands from Dollar Tree, and I thought we would make a really cute little wood bead and gnome Christmas garland. You know, you could use this for your mantle or, you know, the top of your shelves or cupboards or anything like that. I actually don't have a mantle or fireplace in my house, and so I actually made mine to go over the top of a door, and it actually turned out really cute. So I just tied 2 of them together, you know, making sure they were all continuous. So I just kind of untied the ends. I'm going to leave these ends tied, though. They're going to be the ends of my wood bead garland. And I wish they made these longer because you totally need 2 packages of these to kind of make a decent size wood bead garland. So I'm just going to kind of leave it as is. I think the natural looks really pretty. You could also do it with the white wood bead garland they have strung from the Dollar Tree. That would be really cute too. And these have little string hangers on them already. So I'm going to take advantage of that by just simply double tying those in between the wood beads. And whenever I do a garland like this, I always try to do like an odd number. So I found the very center of mine, and I put 1 there, and we're going to use 15 because I always want to do an odd number. So I bought 16. We're going to use 15 of these little gnomes. And so I just counted over like 4 of the wood beads and tied it on. I'm trying to make sure that I'm tying them all about the same height and having them all kind of face away from me just because it was kind of easier to get in there. And the only thing challenging about this was trying to get your fingers in there to tie like that little string. Just kind of see what you're doing, but otherwise it was super easy to do. And originally I was going to make these into a like gnome wreath, but then I thought a garland would be really fun. I don't really have anything like that. And sometimes it's fun to decorate the top of your doorways, especially for Christmas. So I actually put this on the top of my doorway going into my garage, and I think it's going to be really fun. You know, Thanksgiving is over, so I can officially decorate and take down my Thanksgiving and fall decor, which, oh, I love my fall decor. But it's time to put up all this Christmas decor. So I went all the way to the end. There's a little bit few more beads on the end, but that's okay because I'm going to need some wood beads there to hang it. And then I just start working in the other direction, skipping 4, tying one on, skipping 4, tying one on, until I get the entire wood bead garland filled with gnomes. And you don't have to do as many as me. I was trying to go like overboard with gnomes. I wanted it to be very Christmas gnomes. I think these look like little Santas, so I think they're adorable. So I loaded mine with gnomes. So this is how it looks. So fun. And this is how it looks hanging on my door. I just used some foam tape pieces on the top of my door ledge to hang the string and kind of sandwich them in between 2 of those on each side to keep it secure. We'll see if that holds it. I might have to put like maybe a stronger hook up there. But we don't really have any tall people in our house, so I don't think that anybody's going to be hitting their head on it or anything like that. But I thought it was super fun. Okay, the next DIY, I picked up these mittens and hat combination at the Target dollar spot for $5 because I really wanted the mittens to make winter DIYs with. So I have this stocking hat left over. It's mint green. I think it's beautiful, and I thought it would make a really fun snowman hat. So we're going to take that, one of the little fake carrots from Dollar Tree, and some microfiber duster mop pads, and we're going to make a snowman gnome. I didn't know if I could pull this off, but we're going to give it a try. Now, if you recognize that the tags are a little different on these, I actually picked these up at Pop Shelf for $1 instead of Dollar Tree. The only difference I noticed is they're a little bit woollier, so you can totally use the ones from the Dollar Tree. They're almost exactly the same. They're definitely the same size. And then I got a wood round from the Dollar Tree. Have you guys seen that they kind of changed the hangers on these? It's kind of cool. And I thought we could put it all together and just make a snowman gnome head, just the head part. So let's see if we can pull it off. I thought if we used the little microfiber mop heads, it would give that gnome look, like the fluffy beard of a gnome, right? So I'm just going to take hot glue, and I'm going to glue 1/2 of the wood round. It's pretty much a perfect fit for one of these mop heads. There's going to be a small gap where they have the rounded edges right there in the middle, but I will fill that up. And I'm not cutting them first. They are a little messy when you cut them. I thought it'd be easier just to glue it all down first. So I just make sure I use enough hot glue to secure that mop head. And when you put them side by side like that, it's pretty seamless. You can kind of fluff it all up for a cute little snowman head. Then I just flip it over, and I'm just going to use some scissors. I was trying to find my sharp scissors, and somebody had ran off with them, but I went and found them because I kind of needed them for this, because this can be a little messy. It gets, it sheds when you cut it. So I'm just cutting all 4 corners off, trying to get that round shape of the snowman head and trying to minimize the mess with that. Now, again, I told you there was going to be a little bit of area here where the 2 pads came together. They did have rounded edges where there was going to be a little hole. So I just used hot glue and some of the leftover fuzz that I had just to fill in those 2 tiny areas. But otherwise, the rest of the head is all covered in this like snowy looking mop head. So cute. I thought that'd be perfect for a snowman. And I saw this carrot the other day at Dollar Tree in with like their fake fruit and vegetables, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need that for a snowman. So I'm going to kind of put it on there where it can kind of be sitting out a little bit, but going to one side. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the greenery on there. Then I realized that the hat was going to interfere with the hanger. And so even though I left the hanger on there, I decided I probably needed to remove it. And I'm just going to have to make a new hanger once I get the hat on there. And those hats are super stretchy, so it's definitely going to go over this big wood round. Then I thought for a snowman mouth, it'd be really cute to do like black buttons. And so I have one of those little button packages from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going through trying to find like, 5 like medium-sized black buttons. I didn't want anything too colorful. It was a little challenging, but I was able to do it. And again, it's going to be a gnome snowman, so there's not going to be any eyes because the hat's going to cover it up like a gonk. And then I just use a tiny bit of hot glue to kind of secure those buttons down into the microfiber mop head to make our little snowman smile. And I wasn't sure, like I was trying to find if anybody else had done this and nobody else had done it. So I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull this off, but I love how it turned out. I think it's so creative. So I'm going to leave the greenery on there. I thought I could use that to actually attach it. It's going to be hidden under the hat anyway, so you won't be able to see it. And to attach it, I just used my staple gun. And you're going through that fluff and stuff, and it worked out perfectly with that wood round, even though it's nice and thin. Now it's time to put our little stocking hat on our snowman. You could always do a more traditional snowman hat if you want, but I think a stocking hat works perfect for this. So I told you it was super stretchy, so I stretch it over, and I'm going to have it like sideways. I thought that would be cute. And then have it slightly overlap our little carrot, having the carrot kind of go off to the side. It's going to be kind of 3D, but it's still kind of going to go off to the side. And then I just hot glue the stocking hat to the carrot. I also hot glue it around the edges to kind of like, mask that in, like the eyes are covered up with a little gnome hat or stocking hat. And this DIY could not be any easier, and it just turned out super sweet. I absolutely love how it turned out. So basically, that's all there is to the snowman. I guess you could do multiple wood rounds on top of each other if you wanted to do a whole snowman body. But I just made this for a door hanging for Christmas or winter, and I think it turned out so fun. I love the gnome snowman idea. Now, since I had to get rid of my hanger, I'm going to have to make a new one. So I just tie some knots and some Dollar Tree twine, and I just staple that right through the stocking hat. That staple is going to help keep the stocking hat in place too, so kind of win-win. And that's all there is to it. There is our little gnome snowman head. I absolutely love him. I think he is super sweet. And I love the color of that like hat and those mittens from the Target dollar spot. Super cute, but you know what? You could always use any kind of stocking hat you've got around. If it has like a ball on the top of it like that, it's really going to give it that fun, festive winter feel. But how cute is that like realistic looking carrot for the nose? I dig it. I think it's really fun. The next DIY is like one of my most viral Facebook reels that I've ever made. I made this last year for Christmas. I'm using the little boots ornaments from the Dollar Tree, a sequin Santa hat. It doesn't have to be the sequin one. It's the only one I could find. And 2 of the white Christmas trees. And we're going to make the most adorable little Christmas tree gnome, and it could not be any easier. So first thing I'm going to do is just open up our Christmas trees, take those out of the package. I guess you could do it with 3 if you wanted, but I think 2 was plenty. And I'm just going to take the hanger or the stands off. And then I thought, you know what? I might as well save them. I can always use those for another DIY because, crafters, you might need that someday, right? And so I go ahead and save those, put them aside. And then I am going to have these little boots. They're already kind of decorated for Christmas with a red sweater. The little like snowball pom-poms and all the fluff on them. They make perfect gnome feet. If you can find these at your Dollar Tree, they do have a couple different styles. I always try to grab some because I like to use them year-round for gnomes because they're the perfect size and you can always take off the sweater. Now for the Christmas trees, all I'm going to do is fluff them up, but I'm kind of fluffing them up only on one side. I want it to kind of have a flat back because you're not really going to be able to see it back there. So super fluffy. And then I just kind of mold the very tip of it into like a little faux foot by folding it over onto itself and just bending it into like the shape of an L like that. So it's going to make the perfect foot to go inside of our little boot. And then I want it to be nice and full so it looks like a big full gnome beard. which is one reason why I got the white Christmas trees. I thought that that would look more like a gnome beard, but I guess you could do it with the green ones as well. I do the same thing on the other one. I fluff it all up. I make a little faux foot on the bottom. And then all you have to do is slide on those little Dollar Tree ornament booties. And the great thing about this gnome is that he is freestanding. These booties work great because he can stand up on his own. I just make sure it's on there nice and tight. So cute. And I got the idea to make this Christmas tree gnome from a blog. I'll try to remember to post the link to this. She kind of gave step-by-step directions, and I loved it so much I had to try to recreate it. Now, for the top part, I actually am going to use some floral foam. I just had one of those little square pieces, so I thought that would work. And I take both of our Christmas trees and stab that into the floral foam. That's going to keep it all together like that, and you won't be able to see that part anyway because it's going to be underneath of our little Santa Claus hat. So I've got it all together. The beard looks nice and fluffy, so we can start working on the little gnome hat. We're going to use a Santa Claus hat. Now, this is like an adult size hat. If you had like a smaller child size hat, it might fit a little better because this one was a little big. And so I am going to have to downsize it a little bit to make it fit tightly on there. But look how pretty and sparkly that is with that red sequence. So cute. But to kind of make it a little bit smaller, I was trying to think how I could hem this easily, like a no-sew method. So I'm just going to pop the hat inside out. And we're going to kind of hem it from the inside with just some hot glue because you know your girl doesn't like to sew. Now, fun fact, I already mentioned my mother in this video, but she was a seamstress, and you would think that like some of that would have passed down to me, right? I don't know. I have a sewing machine. I just don't like to use it. And so I just fold it over like that, hot gluing it to itself, and it just made the hat a little bit skinnier enough to fit the little gnome. And I do that all the way down there, including like the little brim of the hat. And easy peasy, now we have a slimmer Santa hat for our little gnome. Just making sure that is all dry before I turn it right side out. And you can always do this with like the plush red Santa hat too. It'd be super cute. I didn't wait for mine to entirely dry, so I did have to kind of touch it up a little bit there to make sure that it is a nice seam, even though it is a hot glue seam. And I do that on both sides. And then the brim of the hat was a little too big too, so I'm going to have to kind of shorten that up a little bit to make that fit as well. But I'm going to go ahead here and try it on to see if it fits now. And it totally does, but that's when I noticed that the brim of the hat was maybe a little too big too. So I'm going to kind of like just kind of fold it upon itself just to make it a little bit shorter. And I can kind of hem that up with some hot glue too, just by kind of cinching it up on top of itself to make it a little bit shorter, just like that. So I do that and then just use some hot glue to secure it, just so it looks like it's a little bit skinnier there. And then the Santa hat fits perfectly there on the little gnome. I'm going to slip it off and do the same thing, kind of cinching up, doubling up the little brim of the hat here on the back. So it's going to be the same height. And the great thing about this DIY is it looks great front and back. You can stand this out in front of your house. You can stand this just about anywhere. I love this DIY. It's one of my absolute favorites. Now we just need to put it together. I thought one of the little gold Christmas ornaments from the Dollar Tree would make a perfect gnome nose. A little Christmas ornament would work perfect. It's the right size and shape, and I think they would be a fun touch. So I picked these up. They are gold. You could always use whatever color you could find, but I think we can make this work. And I'm just going to use that as the little gnome nose right here in the middle, like it is peeking out from the bottom of the Santa hat. And the Santa hat and a gnome hat, you know, basically the same thing. And I just hot glue that right inside. I also hot glue it a little bit to the tree just to make sure that it stays in place. And then you can always kind of, fold over the tip of your hat if you like that look. You could always stuff your hat too to make sure that it stands up well, but I kind of like it like kind of bent over a little bit. I think that's cute. And since that was the only thing that was gold on there, I decided to add just some of the gold jingle bells from Dollar Tree. We can dress up his little booties here and make them super cute. So I decided to replace the pom-poms on them with the little gold jingle bells just to bring a little bit more gold into the DIY. But this is just me being extra. It did look really cute though. Jingle belling the little boots. And I didn't really have enough string on there to tie them. So as you can see, I'm kind of just stringing that on and attaching it with hot glue, kind of gluing the string in the jingle bells. And I do the same thing on all four. And there he is, our little Christmas tree gnome. So cute. It's like a little tiny gnome child, if you will. Super fun. And this is how it turned out. There was a little gold there in the sequence of the Santa hat, so I guess that does tie in with the gold that I used on there as well. But isn't he so sweet? I love the idea of using the Dollar Tree Christmas trees as a gnome beard. So fun. I've seen people make like wall hangings or wreaths like that as well. Hey guys, I wanted to take a quick moment out of today's video and let you know about my private Facebook group. I always have it linked below. We would love to see you over there. And I also have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. And my handle is Crafty Beach on YouTube. Okay, let's get back to the Christmas gnomes. For the next one, we're going to use another one of the tinsel trees from the Dollar Tree. One of their Santa hats that looks like a lumberjack, like red buffalo check, and some Dollar Tree rope. This one was a really fun one to make. So just like before, we are going to use the cage of the tinsel tree for our little gnome hat and actually for its body. This time, no flower pots or anything like that, though. It's just going to kind of sit flat with the base of it. So once I get all of the tinsel off and cleaned up, we can start putting this little guy together. Now, I kind of wanted to test out the Santa hat to see if it was going to fit on this size cage and what I'm going to have to do to kind of make it fit. But how cute is the fur on this? I thought that would be so cute. I kind of want to make like a rustic looking, like lumberjack looking Christmas gnome, if you will. Now this is the Dollar Tree rope that we're using to make the beard. It is the thinner one. And we're actually going to use that unwound to make cute little curly beard for our gnome. You could always use a mop head as well, but I really liked the way the rope turned out for this DIY. So while the rope's intact, I'm going to go ahead and measure exactly how long I need the beard to be. I'm going to have it go from that first line of the cage down to the bottom, kind of overlapping the bottom. And then I just used the first piece as reference, and we are just going to cut out a ton of rope because I'm going to need that to go kind of all the way around there to form the beard and kind of the body of the gnome. And so I'm just cutting as much as I have rope for. That way I'll have them all the right size and we can attach them. I thought it would be easier just to attach the rope as is and then unwind it once we got it on the little Christmas tree shape. So let's get started with that. I'm going to actually just attach it to that top bar there of the plastic. And we're just going to use some hot glue. Again, just using the rope as is at this point and gluing that on. I want to make sure that I get it all secure. So when I unwind it, you're not going to be having any of the rope fall off. And then I just go right next to it side by side and do some more rope. And I was trying to do like maybe one or two at a time if I could, to kind of make it go a little bit faster, but just trying to fill it all in with rope. And we're going to go around the Christmas tree and do the same thing all the way around. Even though like a gnome doesn't really have a beard on its back, we're going to kind of make it work because like the little hat will be back there as well, and it kind of needs a body back here. So we're going to do rope for the whole thing. So make sure that you have enough to kind of get good coverage. Even there at the end, you don't want any like big gaps if you can hide it. and we have them all secured. Now, I was a little worried that some might fall off, so I decided to reinforce mine a little bit, and I'm just using some twine, and I'm simply hot gluing that on top of the ropes to kind of try to keep that together for when I go in and start unwinding all of the rope. I want to make sure it all stays attached. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go in and unwind it into 3 little pieces. And it gives the most adorable little curly beard. I have to go around and do that on every single one of the ropes. Now, if you wanted to be like really furry or plush, you could comb it out even further into individual strings. But I really liked the curly nature of the rope. I thought it looked really fun and rustic. So that's what it looks like so far. We've got our little beard that goes all the way around. Then for a little gnome nose, I'm just going to use a wood bead. I had like a larger wood bead that I had purchased on Amazon. And since it's raw wood, I thought it'd be fun to stain it since we're kind of doing that like little lumberjack look. I thought it would be cute. So I used some antique wax by Waverly and just simply stained my wood bead to give me a really cute little rustic gnome nose. Now to attach it, since it's a wood bead, I can just put some twine through the holes and we can actually just tie that onto the cage. And that's going to help keep it in place rather than just use hot glue. It kind of keeps the holes up and down too, kind of out of the way. And I still have access to the inside, so I can kind of tie that off, hiding the twine on the inside. And that's what we have so far. So let's get started on the little gnome hat. Isn't this so cute, that red and black buffalo check? I love the fur on these. I think they're so cute. I've actually used the fur for other DIYs just because I love them so much. I'm going to try it on and see if it's too big, and it is way too big. So we're going to try hemming it like we did before to try to make a smaller hat that's going to fit our gnome. So I kind of measured about how much, but then I thought I'm going to have way too much extra fluff and material in here for as much as I'm going to have to hem this down. So I decided just to cut that excess material out just to get it out of the way. And I kind of did it on a seam too. And then we can just form a new seam to make a smaller hat for our little gnome. That is about how much I removed, so a pretty good chunk of it. Now I'm going to turn it inside out again so we can do our hot glue sewing method here. And we're just going to glue the front surfaces to each other, forming a seam. And this is lined too, so you might need to hot glue different layers together like that to keep everything nice and solid. I also glue the fur to itself. And I flip it over so I can kind of get the liner glued down on this side as well. Let that set up and then we can pop it back through, and now we have a nice skinny Santa hat, perfect size for our smaller size gnome. So we're just going to slide it on his little head like that. I kind of want it to be a little longer in the back to kind of cover up a lot of the gnome body too. And kind of trying it on for size. Now it's time to attach it. I decided just to do hot glue all along the tops of my rope right here. And then I can glue the hat to it just with the brim like slightly overlapping our little gnome or gonk nose like that. Now in the back, I noticed it was still a little loose. I probably didn't size it down as much as I could, but we're going to try to make it work. I just hot glue it there to the rope, also covering the ends of those. And then I decided it just kind of needed a smaller brim. It was basically all it was. So I just cut the fur back there in the back where I could kind of hide it and overlapped it to tighten it up a little bit. And look how cute this little guy is. He's so adorable. I really love him. He looks super rustic. Definitely got like those lumberjack Christmas gnome vibes. And you can kind of flip his hat over like that if you like. You could always stuff it with some polyfill if you want your little gnome hat to stand up. But I think he looks like a very rustic little Santa Claus gnome. And so cute. And a different option for the stockings from the Dollar Tree. not the stockings, the Santa hats from the Dollar Tree that you can use to make a gnome. And look how cute that rope turned out for the beard. I absolutely love the curly rope. Very cute and super easy to make, actually. Now, the next DIY, I thought we could make a giant Christmas gnome like wreath for my door. So I picked up this little Santa hat from the Dollar Tree. That's another one of the tinsel ones, right? I just removed whatever decor is on there. I just wanted this great cage. I thought this would make a great gnome hat. There's many options for like hats shaped similarly to this from the Dollar Tree that you could probably get about the same effect. But basically, I just have to go in and cut off all the annoying tinsel again. And I want to do like the Christmas tree version of the Santa hat again, but this time I want to make it into a giant like Santa gnome wreath for my door. So we're going to use the garland from the Dollar Tree again. That's a great value for $1.25. And I didn't really like the look of the little pins sticking out. I thought they were going to get in the way. So I just went in and trimmed those off. And for this one, we're going to use the Dollar Tree mop head for the beard. This was another option that I was saying you could do for the other one. And I had wanted to try like some different methods. We have lots of different kinds of gnome beards in this video today. Now, the way these are put together, they're put in with plastic, but you can kind of pull them out. So once you get like some of it loose, it's pretty easy. You can just go through, pull it all out and get the entire fiber out. You don't have to cut anything or anything like that. Just a matter of pulling it all out. And I thought we could do maybe a couple layers of the mop head to do a nice full beard on our little Santa gnome. So this is how I did it. I just fed it in from the bottom, simply tied it into a knot, making it come down like that. And I'm going to repeat that all the way across to make a beard. So I just tie it, kind of trying to scooch it over as close as I can to make it super tight. And we're going to speed this up so we can kind of get through this little gnome beard today. And I wanted it to be like nice and full too. So we're going to use as much of this mop head as we can. And when you tie it like this in half, like half of the mop head's definitely long enough for a gnome beard this size. And so I told you I wanted it to be thick, and I still had some of the mop head left. So I decided to do some of the beard here on the second row of this reform too, just to kind of make the beard a little bit fuller. So I'm going to do the same thing. All I'm doing is simply tying it around. And as you can see, I'm only tying it once. It does not take much. You don't need to double tie it. Then I decided to see exactly how much the mop head I had left, so I could kind of see how many I could do in each row. It's not as tight as it was on the first row, but it did provide a nice extra layer of fluff to our gnome beard. This is the hanger that was already on there. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that so that we can make our gnome hat, which is also going to be a Christmas tree again. So basically, it's kind of the same technique that we used before. Using this, winding it around to make a Christmas tree. I just start at the very tip, bending it around on top of itself to kind of cinch it in there. And we're just going to go around and around the little gnome hat and make a really cute little Christmas tree, which we're also going to decorate. I kind of wanted to do like a vintage classic Christmas vibe on this wreath, and I love how it turned out. So that's how far one package of the garland will get you. You're definitely going to need more than one package for this one because the hat is nice and big if you find the same tinsel hat that I did. And we're just going to keep winding that around until we kind of cover up the beard part here, and we can secure that to the back, just winding the wire up around itself. No glue or anything required for that part. Then I wanted like a brim to the hat, something a little different than just the greenery. So I decided to use some of this lovely like red velvet ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I thought this looked really plush, and it's just about the right scale to kind of cover up the seam between our little Christmas tree hat and our little gnome beard. I'm going to have mine go all the way around just like that. And I can kind of hot glue the ribbon to itself on the back here. To form that, I also glue it to the structure itself to try to keep everything secure. And I just want all of the cage to be covered. So this is just kind of hiding where it comes together, but it made a really cute part of the little Santa Claus hat for our gnome. I do secure it with a little bit of hot glue inside the ribbon as well to make sure it doesn't kind of bow out. And then we're going to use those little gold Christmas ornaments from the Dollar Tree to make a perfect little gnome nose too. Super shiny and retro looking. I just put a little hot glue on the tip and part of the ornament so I can glue it underneath the brim of the hat like that, so it will peek out just like a little gnome nose. I also hot glue it to the mop head just a little bit to keep it in place. Now, I told you I want to do that classic vibe, and I found these great LED lights at the Dollar Tree. They're like the big multicolored lights, so I thought they looked really fun and retro. So again, it's just a matter of popping some AA batteries in here and testing these out, making sure they work, of course. And then we can string these. I really want like most of the light to be like on the front of the tree because there's not a lot, and I think they're so cool. And this looks so fun on my Christmas door for Christmas. Really got a kick out of this one. So I'm going to start up here at the very top of our Christmas tree, and I thought maybe we could kind of string them back and forth. I just needed to find a way to attach them, and I decided to use those little tiny zip ties from the hardware section at Dollar Tree, and we can zip tie that to the plastic structure to kind of keep that in place. I think that's going to be a little bit more secure than hot glue, and it won't really damage the light at all. Then I kind of go to one side, and I zip tie it over there to make it look like it's strung across the tree. And again, I don't want to waste any lights on the back of it where you're not going to be able to see it. So I'm just going side to side like that so you can see all of them. So I zip tie to the left side as well. And trying to space them out kind of evenly if I can. And we have a room for one more row. I'm also going to secure that with a zip tie. And we do have to hide the little battery pack in the back. I tucked mine in the brim of the hat so I could still turn it on and off, and I could get to the batteries. This is how it's looking so far. I think it's super cute, and I am loving the vintage vibe. I thought about using these little red ornaments from the Dollar Tree to decorate it, but I really wanted something a little bit more retro, so I decided to go through my Christmas stash, and I found these at the Target dollar spot. They're very classic retro looking, like little miniature Christmas ornaments, and I thought, you know what? Those would be perfect. I didn't end up using all of them, but I used a lot of them, and I think they're so pretty. Look at these. You can't get much more vintage Christmas than this. So I'm just going to kind of pick out which ones I think are going to look good and kind of space those out on the Christmas tree where I think they're going to look nice. I love the little gingerbread man. Adorable. And I want them all to be super colorful too. Now these came with like little strings. I thought that'd probably be the easiest way to hang them on. And so I'm just going to string them and tie them onto the garland itself. So this will be nice and secure. I can hang this on my front door. It can be outside. Actually held up really well to the elements last year. And we have candy. We have little Santas. Super cute. And I'm glad I decided to do like the actual items instead of the bulbs for ornaments. I think it really set the stage for this little Christmas tree gnome. So whimsical and fun, and a really easy project to do. You could get just about anybody involved in a DIY like this with you. So that looks pretty good. I wanted to make a tree topper though. I wanted to go all out, and so I decided to make one. So I'm going to use one of the little galvanized metal stars that I got at Dollar Tree, and then I picked out some bling here, and I thought we could kind of put it all together and make a little custom tree topper. It's not going to be lit up, but we can kind of make it look like it's lit up with these little red gemstones from the Dollar Tree. And I am just going to basically line those out. They're on a string of glue like that. So, you know, you can kind of make them go whatever way you want. You can shorten them as needed. I just wanted to frame out the entire star and those to kind of look like Christmas lights. And then these are some of the wood stickers from Dollar Tree, and they had a gold glitter star that I thought would be perfect for the middle. I just attach it with hot glue, and now we have the perfect size little tree topper for our little Christmas tree gnome. It's just a matter of attaching this to the very tip of the tree, and the hat is kind of like over to the side a little bit, which is kind of whimsical and fun for a Christmas tree anyway. So I kind of want to go with that and hot glue this on the very tip where it's kind of going off to the side. And I simply attach that with hot glue. Now we need to make a hanger for this so we can hang this on the front door. So I just string some twine in the very top of the cage from that used to be a little tinsel Christmas hat. Now it is a really adorable little Christmas tree gnome with a big, fluffy mop head beard. So whimsical and cute. And how cute are those Dollar Tree ornaments? Now for the beard, I wanted it to be even fuller. So I decided to do the extra work of untying all of the mop heads into individual strings. So it's going to be super fluffy and full. But you know what? This step's totally optional. It's however you want your beard to be. This one, I just wanted it really lots of stringy. So that's what I'm going to do. So we are going to speed this up. Super sonic speed here to get through this entire beard. And I'm glad I did it because as you can see how much fuller the beard looks once you untie it versus just the mop fibers. And it also gives you that curly appearance that the rope had earlier from being unwound, when before the mop heads just hang really straight. And this is the final step of this little wreath DIY. It's a nice big piece. It fits my front door nicely, fills up a lot of area. It lights up for Christmas. It could not be more a Santa Claus with that big fluffy beard and so many fun details. This is how it looks hanging on my door, all lit up for Christmas. And whenever I can make a Christmas decoration light up, I'm always going to go for it. I love Christmas lights for the holidays. Look how full the beard turned out. So definitely worth, I think, unwinding it all. But this is how it looks from a distance. Really fun. Okay, the next DIY, again, you guys know I love my little tinsel trees from the Dollar Tree. They just make perfect gnome hats. They also make perfect Christmas trees, of course, because that's what they are. So we're just going to remove the tinsel from this one. And I have a fun idea of a different kind of gnome, Christmas gnome, that we can do with this one. And as you can see, I got like some little reindeer antlers from Dollar Tree. So this is going to be a little reindeer gnome. Earlier we did a snowman. We've done lots of Santas, but I thought Rudolph needed a gnome too. So we're going to see what we can do. Now I'm going to switch it up. This time we're going to use the brown rope from Dollar Tree instead of the white. It's going to kind of give us a different look. You know, the reindeer I thought would be cute if it was brown. So I think this rope is going to be perfect. So just like before, I'm going to have it go from the middle section to the very bottom. So I just measure off one piece and then go around and cut all of the rope. And this is the thinner brown rope from the Dollar Tree. Doesn't really matter. You can use whichever one that you want because we are going to unwind this like we did before. But you get a totally different look with the brown rope than you do with that white nautical rope from Dollar Tree. And you can kind of see which one or both that you like. Now I'm going to just start by hot gluing the rope to the middle cage right there. I actually started mine right there where there was kind of a crossbar for a little added stability. And then we're just going to simply hot glue those all the way around because like before, this is going to form the beard. It's also going to form the body because you don't want to have any open spaces or anything like that on the back of your gnome. So one package of that was not enough. So I had another package on standby, cut a few more pieces down, and that was good to go. Now I'm going to use my extra rope I have. You could always use twine like we did before, but that worked really well when I glued rope all the way around to help keep that in place, and it's going to be hidden underneath the gnome hat anyway, so you might as well reinforce it. And I just hot glue that all the way around. That way the rope is glued from the top and the bottom. Then I can unwind it and pull and tug on it and it won't go anywhere. But as you can see, that's what it looks like. It's not full at all if you just use the ropes like that. So that's why it is crucial to unwind them. So just like before, these just unwind into 3 different separate ropes. It's going to give you a really full curly little beard. And we're just going to simply go all the way around the tree and unwind every single one. These are the kind of time-consuming parts of the projects, but look how cute that turned out. Now it's time to get started on decorating this gnome. I was trying to decide what would make a good nose, and I decided the little red ornaments from the Dollar Tree would be perfect. I just love the idea of using a Christmas ornament for a gnome nose. And we can just attach it right there to the rope where I think the nose is going to be peeking out. So I decided to do it kind of right here where my rope came together anyway. You're not going to be able to see that part anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I could kind of get in there a little bit closer there where I had a gap. And we're just going to attach that little Christmas ornament with hot glue to make our little gnome nose. Just kind of nestle it right up in there. And I thought the red ornament would be perfect since we're doing a reindeer. It's going to look like a little Rudolph gnome. Now for the hat, the gnome hat, we're also going to make it look like a Christmas tree, like we have in some of the other gnome DIYs today. And to do that, we're going to use my favorite garland, the Dollar Tree garland. It's so versatile and so inexpensive. I love crafting with this. So I'm just going to kind of wire that around my frame to kind of get me started there. And I'm also going to use a little hot glue just to make sure that this stays down and the overlap with the beard is going to hide the rope where it all comes together. You're not going to be able to see any of that. I don't want that to shift or anything like that. And then once I get that on, I can just kind of use pressure to like pull that around. It's got all the great tabs and everything on there on that tinsel tree cage. And just simply work my way up to the very top of our Christmas tree or gnome hat. I want to cover up as much plastic as I can. And this is how it looks so far. There is a slight hint that it might be a reindeer with that cute little Rudolph nose. Now, these are the antlers we're going to use. The thing is, they're too big for my gnome as is, so I'm going to very carefully try to use my heat gun to remove the felt from felt so I can get the little reindeer antlers off. I just try to get it a little bit hot and then just kind of pull it off because, again, I don't want to melt the felt if I can help it, but it wouldn't come off without just a little bit of heat. Now we have 2 reindeer antlers. They're just the right size, and it's just a matter of attaching these. So I was kind of trying to see exactly where they kind of come out, like from the beard here, one on each side of the little reindeer nose, and whether I want them to go like straight up or kind of out to the side a little bit, kind of compromised, kind of go slightly off to the side. And then I just hot glued that to the beard that we made out of the rope. Gonna do the same thing here on the other side, trying to make sure that my antlers are fairly even and secure. And then to kind of hide where they all come together, I'm going to make a brim to this like little hat, I guess it is, and to cover up the rope there as well with some more of that Dollar Tree garland. It hides like the opening of the antler where we attached it and the rope we used to reinforce everything. So I'm going to go around a couple of times to make that brim of the hat and just simply attach it here in the back. It's kind of easier to wire it to each other with the wire that's in the garland than it is to hot glue it. This garland from the Dollar Tree is really sensitive to heat, so be careful with your hot glue as well. Then I thought some of the little jingle bell mini bell garland would be really cute since it's a reindeer. I thought that'd be fun to give him some jingle bells. And as you can see, all of these Christmas gnomes today, all a little bit different, all different kinds of themes. I really hope that you got lots of good crafting inspiration today. I did 4 of these tonight. I did 4 of these last year, and I think they are so much fun. I absolutely love all of them. So I just strung that mini bell garland all the way around, just like garland. It's also going to be some jingle bells, but a nice rustic touch to our little reindeer gnome. How cute is he? I think that red ornament nose just really makes him. Now I wanted to do a tree topper on this one just for fun, so I decided to use one of the little wood stars from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to simply stain it with Antique Wax by Waverly, kind of give it a warm look. And I thought that would be a really cute little tree topper to put on the top of my little Christmas tree up here. I didn't want the decorations to be too garish on this one. I wanted everything to kind of look rustic. That's kind of why I went with like the brown jingle bells. We have the brown tree topper. And I think it looks really cute as is. I think it just needs a few more touches. The first thing I want to do is kind of tone down that super glossiness of the little nose. And I do that with some matte Mod Podge just to kind of take the sheen down a little bit. Just because I was going for a little bit more rustic, a little less shiny. But of course, Rudolph's nose needs to be bright red. And that is how it looks so far. It's so cute. And then I thought, you know what? This will look great with some lights. So I'm going to feed some in there. You know, I might as well because we have access to the inside of the tree. So again, these are some Dollar Tree lights, the little tiny LED lights, the white ones. And I can kind of feed my little battery pack in right inside. So I'll be able to turn it on and off just by lifting up my little gnome. And then turn that on so we can kind of see what we're doing. And then we can string those lights around. And again, I just used white. It's going to be neutral, kind of go with everything. And I'm glad I did it because I didn't do a lot of decorations on this little Christmas tree. And it's still neutral with the white color, but it added a little pizzazz to our little Rudolph and Christmas tree gnome. I think he's so fun. So I just wound that all the way around. It's a perfect size for a tree that size. And I love him. I think he's so cute. And one of my very favorite Christmas gnomes. Definitely the red ornament or some kind of a red bead for the nose. And try to find some kind of antlers. They'd be pretty easy to make too if you couldn't find them, if you had some brown felt. Isn't he darling? I love him so much. Okay, you've made it to the final reveal. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, I would ask for you to hit that like button and comment your favorite gnome DIY below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, 70% of you are not subscribed. Please do. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers here at Crafty Beach. Okay, enjoy the final reveal.
White outside and the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas. It's a magic time. You can feel it in the air that every child got their hearts filled up with joy. Yes, it's Christmas all around. All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing Merry Christmas to you. This time of year is a time to cheer. Let our could stay forever. It's Christmas today. All snow is falling down, all the colored lights lighting up this town. And as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
I want to give a huge thank you to all of the Crafty Beach Fun members here on my channel. I want to thank you so much for supporting my channel. To Coastal Couple, Pamela Bergeron, I Am Mojo Jojo, Melinda Elizabeth, Jamie Job, Susan Edmonds, Sandra Ray, Carrie R., Tracy Knight, Verna Noctigal, Nancy Wunner, Julie Miller, Jan Zalata, Tammy Coates, Janae Farrington, Pamelia Wren, Whitney Harrison, Maria Grace, Butterfly Mama, Donna Schreiner, and Tina Kane. Thank you so much for supporting me here on YouTube. I really appreciate you all. And if you would like to join the Crafty Beach Fun membership, all you have to do is hit the join button underneath this video. It is $4.99 a month. You can cancel anytime you want, and you're going to get early ad-free access to my videos. All right, thanks so much for watching today. And if you would like to watch more Crafty Beach, YouTube thinks you might enjoy this video right here.